Okay, so we're diving into optical instrument repair today. Definitely not something you hear about every day.
Definitely a little niche, right?
But after checking out these RoleCatcher resources you sent over, um, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I'm kind of fascinated. I mean, how often do you hear about fixing telescopes as like a real job?
Yeah, it's not your average 9 to 5, that's for sure.
Right. But it seems way more crucial than people
Oh,
realize. Yeah.
absolutely. People don't really think about it, but those high precision instruments scientists use, or even just the telescopes people use for stargazing.
It's like you don't think about it until your microscope breaks and
So
suddenly,
exactly, you need that thing fixed yesterday.
totally. So what kind of impact do these optical instrument repairs actually have?
It's huge, really. I mean, we take it for granted, but without these skilled repairers, our scientific discoveries.
You're saying those discoveries wouldn't even be possible.
A lot of them wouldn't. It's not just about the instruments themselves, but what they represent. Exploration, knowledge. Imagine a world without functioning telescopes or microscopes.
Whoa. Okay, that's a scary thought.
Right. It kind of makes you appreciate those who keep these things running.
Absolutely. This career guide from RoleCatcher mentions they often work with incredibly delicate and expensive equipment.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Makes sense. You can't be careless when you're dealing with lasers and stuff.
No, you need a very specific skill set for this.
So what exactly does that look like?
It's really about precision and a deep understanding of how these intricate instruments work. You're not just fixing something.
There's got to be some serious problem
But
solving involved too,
there are
maybe.
tons. The guide gives some cool examples, like figuring out why a high-powered microscope is producing blurry images or recalibrating a surveyor's theodolite.
The what?
A theodolite, it's a surveying instrument.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, each repair is like a puzzle.
I bet. You almost have to be part engineer, part detective.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay. I'm hooked already. So let's talk career path. What does that progression look like for someone starting out in optical instrument repair?
Well, typically you'd start by assisting senior technicians, maybe doing some basic repairs or maintenance.
So kind of like an apprenticeship.
Exactly. As you gain experience and knowledge, you move on to more complex repairs, maybe specialize in a particular type of instrument.
So you could become like the go-to person for a specific type of telescope or something.
Precisely. And with that comes the potential to lead teams, mentor junior technicians, even consult on the design of new instruments.
That's so cool. This guide even mentions Master Optical Instrument Repairer as a title.
Right. How awesome is that?
That sounds almost medieval, like you're a master craftsman.
It does have a ring to it.
But this constant learning and leveling up of skills that seems crucial in a field like this.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with all the technological advancements happening.
Right. What's the impact of all this new tech?
Well, the guide specifically talks about automation becoming more common.
Interesting. What does that look like in this field?
We're talking laser-based alignment tools, computer-controlled calibration, even robotic arms assisting with delicate repairs.
Wow. So even though it's very hands-on, technology is changing the game.
For sure. And that means a successful optical instrument repairer needs to be adaptable and always willing to learn those new technologies.
So we've got precision, problem-solving, constant learning. But how does one even begin a career in this field? Is there a specific educational path people usually take?
That's where things get interesting. There's no single optical instrument repair degree, but there are several routes you can take. So some people come from a background like optics technology or engineering,
Makes sense.
even physics. And then there are vocational schools and community colleges that offer specialized programs in optical instrument repair.
So you could do a trade school route or a four-year degree. There's some flexibility depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, don't forget on-the-job training.
Oh, right, of course.
Some people might start in entry-level positions and learn from experienced mentors. You know, this career guide actually mentions apprenticeships as a great way to get that hands-on experience.
Apprenticeships, it's like the OG hands-on learning experience.
Right. Instead of blacksmithing, you're mastering high-tech microscopes.
I love it. But how do you even find those opportunities? It's such a specialized field.
That's where RoleCatcher comes in. Remember that jobs module we talked about?
Right. You can search for optical instrument repair jobs specifically.
Exactly. Filter by experience level location, way more efficient than just browsing generic job boards.
Definitely. Plus, RoleCatcher uses AI, right? Doesn't it analyze your resume and suggest improvements?
It's like having a career coach in your pocket. It can analyze job descriptions too and help you tailor your resume to stand out.
Okay, that's huge in a competitive job market.
Yeah.
So let's say you nail the application and land an interview. What are some key things to be prepared to talk about? How do you really impress those hiring managers?
Well, first off, remember what we talked about. This field is all about precision problem solving and a genuine passion for these
Right,
instruments.
you have to show you're not just there for a paycheck.
Exactly. The guide actually gives a few sample interview questions that are pretty common.
Oh, like what? Give me an example.
Sure. One is, can you describe a time you had to troubleshoot a complex problem with an optical instrument?
Classic. So they're looking for those problem-solving skills we talked about.
Yep. They want to see your thought process, how you approach challenges, how you use your skills to find solutions.
That detective work. But it's not just about technical skills, is it? I imagine communication and teamwork are pretty important too.
Absolutely. You need to be able to explain technical concepts clearly to colleagues, maybe even clients. They need to trust you with delicate and expensive equipment, after all.
True, you can't be the genius who can fix anything, but can't explain what they did.
Exactly. And speaking of preparation, RoleCatcher has this amazing interviews section. It has a massive library of potential interview questions, even AI-powered feedback to help you practice your answers.
Wait, hold on. AI feedback on interview answers. Tell me more about that.
It's really cool. You practice your answers, and the AI can give you feedback on things like clarity and conciseness.
So it's like having a personal coach, but for your interview skills.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right. It can even pick up on things like if you're using too much jargon or being too long-winded when a more straightforward answer would be better.
That's so helpful. So you're not just going into the interview blind. You've got this AI coach helping you prep.
Exactly. Okay, so let's say you've aced the interview, got the job. Now what? What's it actually like day to day being an optical instrument repairer?
Yeah, paint us a picture. What's the work environment really like?
Well, it's definitely not your typical office setting.
Mhm.
One day you could be in a lab hunched over a microscope with tweezers.
Like a surgeon.
Exactly. And then the next day you're out calibrating surveying equipment under the open sky.
Wow, so a lot of variety in the work environment.
Tons. And the repairs themselves are all so different. One day it's binoculars, the next it's a complex laser system. This guide even mentions some repairers working on those massive telescopes in observatories.
Okay, that's just cool. But it can't all be fun and games, right?
Not
There
at
have to be
all.
some downsides to the job.
Of course, every job has its challenges. Like it can be physically demanding sometimes, especially dealing with larger instruments or awkward positions.
Yeah, I imagine that's tough.
And the attention to detail required is intense. Even a tiny mistake can mess up an instrument's whole performance.
No room for error. You definitely need a steady hand and a calm demeanor for this kind of work.
Absolutely. But for many people, that's part of the appeal. That feeling when you take something broken and bring it back to life, it's like solving a puzzle.
But instead of puzzle pieces, it's lenses and lasers.
Exactly. And knowing your work has a real impact. You're enabling scientific breakthroughs, helping ships navigate safely.
Right. You're a part of something bigger.
Exactly.
This has been fascinating.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, I want to do that, where should they go to learn more?
Well, this RoleCatcher career guide is a great start, obviously.
Definitely. And their whole platform,
Yeah.
actually, it's amazing. We talked about the jobs and interviews modules, but what else is there?
They've got career planning advice, a directory of professional organizations related to optics, even salary insights. It's a one-stop shop.
Love that. Seriously, RoleCatcher is a game changer. Everyone should check it out. Well, we've covered a lot today. The precision, the problem solving, the challenges and rewards of optical instrument repair. It's a career most people don't think about, but it touches so many aspects of our world.
So true. And who knows, maybe one day we'll hear about a groundbreaking discovery made possible by an instrument one of our listeners repaired.
That's a great thought. So to everyone listening, if you're looking for a career that blends technical skills with a passion for knowledge,
And maybe a little detective work.
then optical instrument repair might just be the hidden gem you've been searching for. A huge thanks to RoleCatcher for the awesome resources and to you all for listening. Until next time, happy exploring.